Hello. I want to make something plainly clear. There's a lot of people trying to hammer me right now, and I'm okay with it. You know, I stood for what I thought was right. Hey Kevin, I stood for what I thought was right. You know, I've got people hammering me. You know, one person called me a felon. Somebody complained because I was looking for a job. So I wanted to point out facts here. Because a man is looking for a job has nothing to do with this. Has nothing to do. I was looking for work because I need work to take care of my family. Had nothing to do with this. And people saying that there's nobody paying me 1 red cent for what I said. And that's true. You know, I had one person hit me up and said, called me a felon. I was a teenager, a child. It made dumb decisions when I was young. Has no reflect on me as a man today. So if you want to hammer me, and you're trying to find ways to discredit me because of something I did in my past, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. Because what I done when I was 16 years old has nothing to do with what I do today. Absolutely nothing. I haven't been back in jail. I haven't been back locked up. I haven't been in any kind of trouble. The state of Alabama granted custody of my nephew to me. I have proven that I've changed my ways and become a better man. Put childish things away. Ain't that what they say? What a man does when a child does what he does is when he's a child. But when a man does what he does as an adult, that's a different story. You know, so you can hit me all day long with messages, call me a felon all day long. You're welcome to do so. You know, I've had people say I'm being paid for this. I am not making 1 red dime. Because truth is free. I'm not getting paid to tell the truth. You should tell the truth no matter what. It's the way we were always raised. Always tell the truth no matter what. But like I said, I've got nothing to hide from anyone. Do your background searches. Do whatever you want to search. Do whatever. But I do tell you now, what I done when I was 16 years old has no reflection on who I am as a person today. So you can paint a picture of me as a convicted felon. Go for it. Because in truth, God knows what my heart is. You can't hold me responsible. I've served my time. I got out. I straightened my life up. I've been on the up and up for almost close to 14, 15 years. So I got out, 96, got out in 98. Finished out my sentence in 2001. So I've been out of trouble since 2001. Not even seen a cell. I cleaned my act up and I went straight and done right. So the whole concept of whatever you want to throw at me, throw it. You know, I got a lot of people stating that what I said, there's no proof. Okay? I can tell you this. I've lived in Alabama my whole life. I was born in Gadsden, Alabama, raised. Broke my teeth in Gadsden. And I'm 38 years old. I've never even heard of the place that she claims she worked at as a waitress. And I've been in the city my whole life. So the whole concept that women do things differently, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes they have to have something to read and to get their words out. No, honestly, if you've been, anyone that's been sexually molested is going to tell the truth. They ain't going to have a piece of paper to take and read off. They should be able to say it out of their head, out of their mouths, and speak it honestly. You know, everybody talks about how bad, you know, I'm getting hammered pretty hard here, guys. I really am. I'm being hammered. Was the place there? Like I said, I don't remember it because, I mean, it wasn't there in my time. So I'm being honest. It wasn't there in my time period. But if it was there, I don't know. I've never heard of it. I knew it didn't exist in my time period of growing up, so it must have been tore down many, many years ago. But again, how would I know? But do I believe her accusations on Moore is wrong? Is she's telling the truth? No, I do not. I don't care what they say. I believe she's lying through her teeth. I believe there's either someone paying her to say the things, because Democrats are good at that. We know that. And I believe she's lying. But again, what do I know? I'm just a son that's known her, stepson that's known her a long dang time. The world knows better. The news people, they know better. They tell us what to believe. Even though I've been around her for a while. So I think my personal beliefs and what I know is because I know the woman. I've known her for many years. I know what kind of person she is, really. So, y'all gonna people continue on hammering me if you want, but my thoughts are still the same. I'm with Judge Moore all the way. You know, no matter what you run on my record, no matter what people say about me, I'm still with Judge Moore. So, but truth is, it's not going to change the fact she faked a lot of stuff, and a lot of it's catching up with her. And no matter what we say or do, you can't hide from the truth. You know, you can't hide from the truth. And I've never hid anything about who I was or who I used to be. So the whole concept people can blame me or call me a felon, call me what you will. But the truth of it is, I don't answer to you. I answer the man upstairs. The man upstairs is the only one can judge me. Nobody else can actually judge me for anything. But y'all are in scavenger mode. We know the liberals, they're trying to find ways to change this around to make me look like a bad guy. I knew this was going to come. I knew the liberals were going to try these liberal medias are going to try a way to rearrange this because they want Judge Moore out. They want to take him out. They don't want him in there. Why are they so afraid of Judge Moore? Maybe because Judge Moore's an outstanding guy that is not corrupted, and he will do what's right by the Alabama people. And they don't want that. They want people in there that it will sell out. That will sell the people out. And I believe that too. We live in a country where crooks run our country, and our people, the decent people, are being run over and being told by the media and all these other groups, oh, we tell you what to believe. If we say it, it's 100% true. And I'm telling you now, it's not true. Look at the facts. If a person was sexually molested, they're not going to have a piece of paper to read off a piece of paper. It's fact. Because supposedly they relive it every day of their lives. If a woman gets raped, she relives it every day of her life, right? So why are you going to need a piece of paper that somebody wrote up for her to say these things? There you go. You know, there's a lot that people want. Our country thinks just because the media says it, we're supposed to believe it. Do you really believe that American people are stupid? We're not buying into that anymore. You got to understand that. We're not buying into your one-sided media crap. You know, I had one say, well, you're being influenced by racist. Imagine that. That actually come up, I guess, because of my Confederate flag in my picture. Well, let me tell you something right now. I'm going to go ahead and break this on down for you on that, too. I'm not a racist. I hate no one of any creed or color. All men are created equal under God. Do I believe in the Confederate flag? Yes, I do. I'm a Southern. But I have never committed any acts of crime against anyone of any color. So we're going to go ahead and throw that on out there so that way we can cut right through the chase. And we won't have to hear these things again, because I don't want to hear any more of your petty jumping on my private messages, me talking smack to me. I am a law-abiding citizen. I've been for a long time. I stood in New Orleans. I stood at a monument at Davis. I fought proudly against 300, outnumbered. Wound up in the hospital. That's truth. Why? Because somewhere along the line, politicians decided our history is not worth keeping. We Americans are not, our voice does not matter. Our voice matters. You Democrats and you Republicans think y'all are the kings of this country, and the people have the authority. We have the power to say what has to be done. You have no rights to take and dictate what we can do and what we can't do. It is wrong. You blame guns when you need to be blaming the person. You trying to find ways to pass laws to restrict people from owning a gun when you don't even blame the person behind the gun. I'm curious. I can go on for many days. But if you think you're going to paint me as a bad person, that I am a KKK Klansman, I denounce the KKK. I think if you've watched my videos, if you actually watched them, you might understand that. The KKK is a terrorist group. I consider that myself personally. They're terrorists. They're no different than Antifa. But that's right, we can't talk about Antifa because guess what? Antifa is a privately owned. Runs from city to city causing chaos. BLM's another one. Oh, we can't talk about that. Oh, no. We can't talk about that. We can't talk about that, ladies and gentlemen. Exactly. You know, we can't talk about these things because, the media don't want to talk about these things. Because if they admit these, then they have to admit to all the crimes that these people have committed. But you can sit and point fingers at me and call me because I committed a crime when I was a child that I am a felon. Let me tell you what I learned from that, though. And let me be honest with you. Let me tell you exactly what I've learned from it. I have learned that a man should have to pay for what he does, wrong or right. A man deserves to pay for what he does. He does something wrong, he deserves to serve time for it. It made me a better person because I realized that without that, I wouldn't be the man I am today. If I wouldn't have went through all that when I was young, I wouldn't be this guy sitting right here having this conversation with you today. Just because somebody's made a mistake, you don't hold it over their head forever. People move forward. They change. They adapt. But bottom line, we are who we are. Judge Moore is 100%. He's innocent. I believe that. No matter what they say, no matter what they try to prove, no matter what. But the realization that people really want to truly 100% want to take and talk smack and send me hateful emails or messages telling me that I'm a felon or I'm this or I'm that. You ever heard that old saying? Don't judge a man until you walk in his shoes. Don't judge me until you walk in my shoes, man. But what I do know is I have stood proudly for what I believe, and I've always tried to represent everything to what I believe to be and what is right. You don't take and sell out someone or ruin somebody's integrity for money. I have no respect for that. A man, Mr. Moore has been the most honest man as I've ever known in Etowah County. And it's true. You want me to lie? I can't do it. You want me to lie? I can't. I don't believe the man's done one thing these people are saying. But what I do understand is what really hurts me is why, after all these years, why didn't you tell your family if this is truth? Why didn't you let us know this man done this? Why did you wait so long? See, these questions keep popping in my head, and it keeps going over and over again. Why? Why wait almost 40 years before you actually say things and try to deal with a problem? But there's going to be a lot of cover-up, and I get it. But there's going to be a lot of things, man. And in truth, we know Judge Moore is innocent. No matter what they all want to say, no matter what the Democrats want to play on this game, and no matter what the liberals want to say. I've got nothing to hide. So you can hammer me all day long. How you doing, Miss Sherry? But you can hammer me all day long if you want to. And believe me when I say this, I've took harder hits in my lifetime than you people can actually, there's nothing you can do to me. Physically, I can take anything you throw at me. So hammer away. Because usually I'm the one that always comes out on top. You don't back a lion into a corner and expect it not to tear you apart. Remember that. But in truth, I believe he's innocent. I believe people are paying to have this done. And I believe Democrats has got a hand in on this. Because my father, and saying this is why I know something don't look right. You know, things don't look right to me because things just do not add up. And it really irritates me. And, you know, you don't think I'm conflicted over this deal? I really am. I really am conflicted. More than what people want to know. But in truth, things just do not add up the way it should have been. You know, if this happened, why was it not brought to the attention to authorities years ago? And that's what my biggest thing is. Why was it hid for so long? Why was it covered up? Why was it let go for so long? And then why all of a sudden, after all these years now, all of a sudden something is being brought up. Oh, he done this and he done that. And so it's got me confused there. Why wait so long to say something? You had plenty of opportunity when you could actually press charges, but you did nothing. Didn't even make a police report, and that bothers me there too. I'm not trying to be an asshole here. I really ain't, but I'm trying to figure out what made you decide to do it now. Why'd you wait all these years to make up your mind that, oh, this is finally getting to me. I finally got to speak out. See, it doesn't add up to me. But like I said, personally, I know people that has been sexually molested, and every one of them can say the words by heart. They don't need paper to tell them what to say. They actually can they know. They relive it every single day. They know. And they would be able to speak it without looking at paperwork or looking at what somebody else wrote. That's what really irritated me. But if somebody's doing this or doing that, this should have been brought to attention many years ago. I don't hate you. And I want you to know that I don't hate you. I don't hate Dad either. But why bring it up now when you didn't seem to get it? You went 40 years. Well, apparently it didn't bother you. Because if it bothered you, you would have dealt with it years ago. Why wait till now to want to say it? And you wonder why there are so many speculations here. There's so many things pointing in negative for me and a lot of people. It's because of that. You waited too long on this, and that pretty much showed that it is what it is. I agree. But I'm not done nothing wrong. I just spoke the truth of what I believe. Because people say, Christians, preachers, parents, we tell our kids to tell the truth no matter what. Speak the truth. If something ain't right, you're supposed to say something about it. But we condemn our brothers and our sisters for speaking out. We condemn people for speaking out because why? Why do we teach our kids if you don't want your kids to speak out the truth, even if it's something that you don't like? I don't understand the whole concept, but what I do know is I have been I'm doing what I think is right. I'm not going to sit here and try to justify big and means because I ain't got to. I was just making points. If people are going to talk smack to me and call me names in private messenger, there's nothing you can say to me that ain't never been said before. You got to understand that. There's nothing you can do to me physically that's never been done before. I can bear anything you're willing to dish out. So if you're going to try to hammer me to make me look bad, you're picking the wrong one to play that game with, because I won't break. If you're trying to bully me, it ain't going to work. So with that being said, I stand by more 100% on this, because I believe there's a lot that does not add up. There's a lot that's not making any decisions. I mean, not making any decisions, but there's a lot that's not, the dots are not connecting where they should. Like I said, I've been in Alabama I growed up in Etowah County. I've known Moore's name since I was a boy. A child. The man stood and fought for the 10 Commandments, man. He's always fought for what's right. He got in trouble a while ago because he wasn't taking, he believes marriage between a woman and a man. So, he don't believe in children being aborted. I mean, the man's a good, down-home Christian. But if you want to take and buffalo me and make me feel like I've done something wrong, I haven't. And I want you to know that. I haven't done one thing wrong. I stood for what I believed. And I believe there's a lot about this story that does not add up to me. And common sense shows a lot of things that do not add up. The Democrats are portraying this as, oh, this guy has done this and this guy has done this, but how are you doing this without proof? Where's the proof? It's word against word, and word of somebody that's 40 years in the past. How can you charge anyone for something that happened 40 years ago? It doesn't make any sense to me anyway. But it happened 40 years ago, give or take. So that leaves one thing on my mind. You can't sue nobody to get money off of them. So that means you're trying to stop him from getting into office. And like I said, we're not going to have a Democrat in office anymore. We're not. They're done here. We're a Republican state, and we're going to stay that way. The time of the Democrats in Alabama are done. Because they're crooked, shady people. They have destroyed a lot of people's lives. But like I said, I'm not a racist by no means. I am 100% truly. I think it's wrong to treat anybody of any color bad. But I tell the truth because it is what it is. So everything that I've said, I stand by 100%. And I will continue to stand by it. And that's bottom line. I stick true to my words no matter what. People can get mad all they want. I don't care. But we're not going to hold nothing over my head and say, well, you're this and you're that. We're not going to do it. But here's a bigger question. And I want y'all to all hear this one. Because you definitely need to hear it. Because apparently the media is eventually going to dig it out anyway. Why is a man standing here supporting a man that originally was going to be the sentencing judge on my case, but he wound up having to be pulled off for a murder case? And so he got pulled off my case to deal with that. So what do I have to hide here? What do I got to hide? I stood in front of Judge Moore when I was 16. And then, and I can tell you this, my experience, for the time that I did stand in front of him, he treated me like a person, not like a monster, not like a criminal. He preached to me, preached the old good word to me. He did. You know. So that's bottom line. So you ask yourselves that, media. Why is a man, after all these years, standing here, trying to support a man that was eventually, if it could have been the man that hung him and locked him away? Because I don't hate the man for doing his job. He had a job to do. I made a stupid decision. It was my responsibility. So why am I going to blame him? He did right. So I'm not going to blame him for that. So in the bottom line, Moore's a good man. And that I believe with all my heart. My gut feeling says it's so. And it's never lied to me before. So with that being said, write your stories. Write them any way you like. Call me anything you like. Call me anything you like. But ultimately, there's nothing you can say that's going to change my mind and what I believe. No matter how hard you try to slander me, there ain't nothing you can do worse than what I've been through in my lifetime. Trust me. I've endured more pain than most men in their life. Spencer, I got you, Harris. I understand, brother. That's your mama. I understand you trying to defend her. And I'm going to let you have your say. Because I'm not going to delete your comment, I promise. All because that's word against word, though, brother. Again, word against word. Word against word, her word against his word. How's that working out? Why did she... Okay, Spencer, we'll have this conversation. Explain to me, why did she wait so long? Explain to me how she waited so long. Why did she come out now instead of pressing charges years ago? You say it's because he was not the DA at that time. He was actually he was not the actual DA at the time. You know, I understand that's your mom, and I know you're gonna take our side. And let's be fair here, guys. That's Spencer. That is his mother. Like I said, I'm not gonna argue with you, bro. I still stand by what I believe because there's too many variables, and even in a case, if it even went to court, the judge would have to look at all the evidence, and he would say himself there's no way to trial this case because there is no proof other than her word against his. And you can't sentence somebody and you can't trial somebody on word against word. Believe me, I've been down that road myself. What is going on here is wrong, and you know it. Why'd she wait 40 years if this is supposedly happened? What they claimed that happened at the mall in Gadsden didn't happen. There's no record he was kicked out. You know, there's a lot going on, and you're going to defend your mom. And like I said, I got, you know, as a stepbrother, I understand where you're coming from. The truth will come out, and it will. But why did she not file a police report? And that's a good question, Spencer. Why did she not file a police report? And if you're going to go back to this, well, he's the DA, blah, 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 blah. Well, without a police report, there is no records. There's no paper trail proving anything that's being done. So, I mean, there's a meaning actualness to this case that does not make any sense to me. And I guess that's why I'm looking at everything. That's why I'm looking at everything from the point of view that I am looking at it for, because I truly believe this is not 100% real. I believe there's a lot of fakeness shit going on here, and I believe there's a lot of stuff that does not add up. And even if I was a judge sitting on a thing, and I would be honest with you, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be honest with you. There's no way I could sentence anybody on this case. You cannot take somebody's word. That'd be like walking down the street, a woman hollers, hey, or a guy hollers, well, he assaulted me. Okay, do you have any marks? No. This guy raped me over here behind the thing, so it's okay. What did he look like? What car was he driving? Details is what makes the case, but you got to actually file a report to make it work. She did not do that, so apparently there's no record on file saying that she claimed any of this other than her own voice as of now. Why'd she wait so long? There you go. But I'm not going to argue with you, brother. I said I wouldn't. I said I wouldn't, and I'm not. But I'm being honest with you here. You know, there's a lot of the variables of this story is wrong, and it is wrong. And I don't care what you think. You can hate me the rest of your life. It ain't like I've never been hated before. But I'm being honest as the day is long. This case stinks high heaven. It does. It stinks with corruption. It stinks with lies. Because if it was 100% true, believe me, somebody would stand up there and they would be able to look. They wouldn't have to read it off a piece of paper. They would be able to look at the thing and speak it like I'm speaking to you. And I know for a fact. But a lot of people is going to say what they want. But I stand behind Judge Moore, and I stand behind my statements. Anybody can hammer me all day. Go for it. I can bury anything you want to dish out. I promise you. Because there's not much you can do to hurt me. Because I've got no money tied into this. I have one thing. state the truth as I know it and the facts that as I see it. That's all this is. Stating facts as I see it. There's no case. There's nothing here. All this is to get a man, to kick a man out of office because people want to take and make him look bad. Okay? Why did none of these women, okay, if all of these women supposedly did this, why did none of these women make a police report? Looks kind of bad, don't you think? They said he committed something at the mall. He got banned for the mall. Mall said, guess what? No, he did not get banned for the mall. So there's a lot of information that is coming in that is saying that this is all a bunch of bullshit lies. Excuse my French, ladies. And like I said, I understand that's your mom and you're going to take up for your mother. And I understand that. You know, a son's going to defend his mama. I got you. I respect you for that, Spencer. I respect you highly for that, brother. Because I defend my mama. But in truth, I really do believe she's not telling the whole story, or she's hiding something, or she's covered something up. There's reasons behind she didn't make a police report. There's reasons behind why this shit was being brought out now than it was, why didn't she deal with it years ago? There's millions of reasons behind it, and it leads to millions of questions. Even me as a son, stepson, is asking, what the hell? What happened here? Why wait so long? If a woman gets raped, she needs to make a report the same day. She needs to be pressing charges. You don't wait 20, 40 years later to want to take and do something. It doesn't work out that way. And I'm sorry, that's not the way it works. You don't just be able to bring it up when you feel like it. You know. But there's no case. No matter what they say, there's no case to deal with this. This is a straight out, and I personally believe Democrats is involved in this shit. That lady, you know, I know my dad. My dad works driving truck. He's been working weekly. So I know, as a truck driver myself, I know when you're out on the road, you make plenty of money. But when you work just drive home every day, and you're only, week by week, you're only making like $600-700. Who's actually paying for the trip they went to New York City on? It's either her dad paid for it or the damn attorney paid for it. And either way it goes, I know my dad can't afford to pay for it, because my dad don't have that kind of money. I know this for a fact. So, say what you will. I believe there's somebody being paid somewhere. And that's why I say, hello, somebody's paying her. No matter what you say, no matter if you like me, no matter if you hate me, I don't care. But the fact of it is, I know for a fact my dad does not have that money to go to New York City on and stay up there as long as he's been up there. So we can have this conversation 25 years to Sunday. My answer's still going to be the same. She is full of shit. I believe Judge Moore is 100% innocent. Because let's be honest, you can't sue the guy and get money out of him because you have no case. There's no court will hear it in court. Because the judge is going to ask the questions. Why did you not report this? Oh, because he was a DA, blah, blah, blah. That's not going to hold up in court 40 years later, guys. Sorry, it's not the way it goes. Because then they're going to use the statute of limitations shit. Then there goes your statute of limitations. Then it's going to fall with no evidence on her side at all other than her word against his. And let's talk about how that works out in courtrooms. Since I have been in courtrooms plenty of time in my younger life, I kind of got the whole idea. You know, I've spent enough time dealing with that shit myself. So, word against word. And that's all this is going to come down to is his word against hers. And they have 100% actual no proof of this ever happening. And it's truth. She didn't make a report. which makes this case look 10 times worse today because she's never made a report. Oh, see, there you go. Imagine that. Like I said, I know my dad didn't have that kind of money. He don't make that good of money. So I know my daddy better than most. But the fact of it is, somebody's paying them to say this shit, and I believe that. Unfortunately, I don't agree, and I'm not going to agree. Yeah, exactly right. This is to keep him out of office. This comes down to keeping him out of office. This is a final trick by the Democrats or whoever's paying her to say the shit. Well, how do you know she's telling a lie? Well, somebody gets raped, gets whatever, molested. I'm being honest with you. They're not going to have to read it on a piece of paper that the lawyer wrote up to make it look good and get every word exactly right. I've been in Gadsden my whole life. Like I said, I didn't even heard of that place. And I was born and raised here. My mom says it was back in the old days, but I've never seen it myself personally. So again, you say what you want to, Spencer. Like I said, I'm not going to stop you for defending your mother. So this conversation, you have a right to say too. Like I said, you can get mad at me, but your word is your word. You're going to defend your mama, and like I said, I'm proud you doing that. Because unlike the rest of them, I'm not trying to fight with all you guys. I have an opinion. I see things the way I see it. You see it the way you see it. Spencer's he's defending his mama, man. So y'all kind of cut him a break, man. I know, like I said, personally, I know they don't have the money to ride all the way up there. I know they didn't have the money to go to New York City. Dad ain't driving and making that good of money anymore. We can argue that fact all day. That's true. So somebody's paying for the bill. And they can say what they want, but I got a pretty good idea who's paying for that bill. Most likely it's going to be the lawyer. Well, I stand with what I stand on, brother. Like I said, I ain't going to argue with you. I'm not going to fight with you. I'm going to respect you because that is your mama. And like I said, I'm not gonna have to judge you one bit, because I mean I'd do the same in my mom. If it was my mom, I'd damn sure be on it. A boy looks out for their mama. Don't matter if they wrong or right, we look out for them. It's a good thing. But I don't see how this case is going to get anywhere. I do know, by what I do know personally, and what I know personally about the case, and what law says, there's no way to win. No matter what they do, there's no way to actually win this. Because you can't sue somebody for something that supposedly happened without 100% proof. And you dang sure cannot put them in jail for it. You can't even get a case to be brought up in court on it. Because even if the judge does hear it, the judge is going to throw it out because there's not a lack of evidence. The mistakes that were made, the police report not being filed, these things kind of makes the story, what she is being said, 0 to none. You got to understand that. Because honestly, if she would have took it'd be a different story if she'd done a report where there was some kind of record. And my personal one here, though, we're going to talk about the yearbook. If this man supposedly done this, and let's be honest here, Spencer, because I'm trying to respect you, but why would you keep And if I was sexually molested or I was raped by someone, I dang sure would not be keeping even if the signature in the yearbook is 100% real. Okay? Which I highly doubt, but we'll go there. Why would she keep that name all these years if this person tormented her? See, that does not make sense to me either. And that was another red flag that really hurts me, is the fact that supposedly she kept Roy Moore's name in this yearbook since 77? From 1977 until to date. It never bothered her before. See, that's the questions that's running through my mind. And I'm being honest with you, that's the question that's running through my mind. It did not bother her before. I don't believe it's real, but even if it was real, why would you keep someone that's name in your book all these years in your home that's supposedly done these things to you? See, these questions, it makes me wonder, and that's why I'm constantly like, what the hell? Why would you keep? There's nobody going to keep. If a man goes out and rapes a woman, you think that woman's going to take and keep his wallet or his name tag or this or that in her house? They're not. They want less memory of that as they can. Why would you keep something that, if this happened? So my question is pretty simple. You know, I've asked the questions. I don't get no answers, but I've asked the questions. But like I said, I stand behind Moore because Moore's reputation has been preceded itself. You know, regardless of what my stepbrother feels. But like I said, I know he's protecting his mama, so I'm not going to disrespect him on that thing. I'm not going to let him do it. I'm not going to say much about that because that's the right thing to do as a son. You defend your mama. But I mean, my questions are pretty simple. Why, if it bothered her that bad, why don't you keep it all these years? That tells me it didn't bother her at all. But why did all of a sudden, after all these years, finally something pops up? Now all of a sudden it's bothering her. That's the question. That's the question I want to know. And that's my personal question there, brother. Why did she hold on to it all these years? Why? Because, I mean, somebody done that to one of my kids. I'm pretty sure my kids wouldn't want to keep it. They wouldn't keep a memorial of it because they would. No, I don't think they would. So, I mean, there's a lot of questioning going on here. But I do have a question, though, Spencer. You know, so like I said, you know, there's a lot of unanswered questions that I really want to know the truth to myself. Why bring it up now? You didn't. There's no case. There's nothing she can do by law. There's no law in this country can actually prove this case. And any judge in his right mind, there's no way he could actually trial this case because there is no way to prove what she said is 100% truth. And it's fact. No matter what she says, how do I know without a shadow of a doubt that it's true? Anybody can say anything these days. Doesn't mean it's true. It just means people are saying whatever they can. But the truth of it is, brother, I'm not a dumb man. And in my personal time dealing with judges and dealing with lawyers and dealing with that, I've had my share of them. And I've picked up a trick or two. But I've learned. Why did she reach out? Why did a Democratic lawyer that everybody knows in this country as a chaser that chases stuff to take and cause, and they prey on people. We already know she's a Democrat, the lawyer. We know she's up to no good. We know she wrote out the scripts that she read. We got it. And it's truth. But what is she trying to get accomplished? Get him out of office. Okay. That's what you're trying to do, is kick him out of office. Why? Because the person coming behind him is going to be a Democrat. We've had enough Democrats in this country. We're done with Democrats. We don't want no more Democrats in Alabama. We're done with them because they're crooked. They lie, they cheat, they rob the American people. And on top of that, they're trying to incite riots across the country. So do I believe that Democrats need to be outlawed, in my personal belief on them. But there's no case here, man. I stick with Moore. I know Moore's innocent, because if he was really guilty of something, that woman would have tried everything in her power to make sure he would have been locked up. And she wouldn't have waited no 40 years. She would have went home and told mommy and daddy. Daddy would have either went down there and shot his ass, went to prison, or he would have pressed charges. So are you going to sit here and truly make me believe that, and this is coming from an Alabama boy, that this happened? It's far-fetched, my brother. It's far-fetched. I do not believe this happened. I believe this was a made-up shit. Because it all looks... There's just too many variables that says it did not happen. Because how in the world could something happen and you don't report it? Most kids, 16-year-olds would run. My daughter's 18. Something happens to her, she's coming straight to me. She's going to tell me what's going on, and I'm going to go deal with it. You don't. There's too much cover up on this thing, man. She waited too long. If she really wanted to get her story out, she should have done it when she was 16 years old. She should have got her story out when she was 16. She should have pressed charges. But she didn't. She didn't. She didn't even file a police report. So now all of a sudden, Roy Moore is going into office that the people, the Alabama's voted for. Then all of a sudden she's going to pop up with a Democratic judge. A Democratic lawyer that is paying for the trip to New York City, that paid for that. Because like I said, I know my dad can't afford a trip to New York City. Not on the budget that he's dealing with right now. And to have, but nobody's paying for this story. Somebody's paying. Like it or not, somebody's making a check off this deal. But unfortunately, man, it's sad. But Roy Moore, he didn't do nothing. I don't believe he did, and I'll back that 100%. Because if he'd done something, she would have pressed charges years ago. She had 10 years. 10 years, man. It's 10 years. She had 10 years to press charges. She never pressed them. She waited 40 years later to bring it up when he's fixing to be, because he got good in the polls and he's fixing to go into office up there. Then all of a sudden here come all these women claiming that he's done this, he's done that, but every accusation that's been put against him is pretty much just hearsay bullcrap. Hearsay, 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 hearsay. Because like I said, there's no proof to anything that they said. And that's all of them. You show me where the proof is. You show me the police reports that were made. Nothing. And unfortunately, my stepmother's on that list. Nothing. No proof in the butter other than a name in a book and a fabricated story that was written up by a Democratic lawyer. If that's what the case is, then there's no way you're going to get past this, bro. I'm sorry, I'm not a dummy, and people are not going to make me believe that shit. She did not, because if a woman was truly raped or molested, or a man is even molested, A man ain't going to have to write it down. He'd be able to take and tell you word for word, detail from detail. And he'd be able to do it without a piece of paper in his hand. It's truth. But like I said, I'm not arguing with you, Spencer, because I know you're taking up for your mama, and it's okay, brother. I respect you for that. I really do. But there's too much about this case, about this whole thing is wrong. There's too many wrongs in this thing. Too many wrongs. And I'm going to stick with my story. I believe, in my personal opinion, this is a bunch of shit. It's a lie. It's fraud is the best. Because there's no way she could actually prove that all this happened, other than her word against his and what's something about a name in a book. That's it. If that's the only proof that you have, there's no judge in the world could actually trial that case. Not off of that. Because there's going to be a lot of district DAs out there who's going to eat her alive. Why did you not press charges? Why did you wait so long? There's going to be a billion questions that's going to be hitting her in the head that she don't even know. Oh, I was afraid. So you're afraid for 40 years. But all of a sudden, in 40 years, you jump up. Oh, I'm not afraid anymore. He tried to do this to me. Seriously? I don't believe that. I'm sorry. You can't make me believe that. I'm sorry. I may not have, my daddy may never speak to me again. I may have lost my family over it, but guess what? I'll look at it from all points of perspective. But that's a good thing about me, because me being through the system myself, I've learned a lot of things. Learn a lot of things when you go through the system yourself. You learn. There is no case here. Y'all are reaching for dirty water. There's no judge can trial this case. There's no DA could actually prove this case to be 100%. There's no evidence other than a word against word, and that does not stand up in court. But that's bottom line. And no matter how we talk about it, no matter how many times we're going to argue about this, Judge Moore is an innocent man. Because there's no proof that he's done anything that these people have said. And it's truth. Nothing. Zilch. Where's the proof? We live in a country where everybody's innocent till they're proven guilty? Without proof, there's no case. Without no case, you can't charge somebody for something they did not do. Just on hearsay. Hearsay, hearsay, hearsay. That's it. And I know enough about that. Believe me, I know a lot about that. But all truth be told, man, I do not believe the story that she's telling. And I'm sorry you get mad at me, but I don't believe her. And at this point, I don't believe my dad either. If he tries to make me believe the horse shit, I wouldn't believe him either. Because, see, he's going to be a good husband. He's going to stand behind his wife, and no matter if she's wrong or right, he's going to back her. And I get it. Because I respect that. But in truth, it's all bullshit. And you can say what you want. Say it. But there's not enough evidence to prove the whole situation. There's no way to prove it all. There's no proof other than her word. And unfortunately, her word, nah, we're not even going to go there. But I don't believe it's 100% true. And I do say that. I believe there's a lot of false stuff because there's so many uncertainties in the case that proves that it didn't happen. And it's truth. Because I'm pretty sure at 16 years old, if somebody tried to rape a kid, especially in the 70s, they would have went home and told mom and daddy. They wouldn't have hid it. They wouldn't have covered that shit up. She would have went home and told mom and daddy. Daddy would have went out there and shot that man. He wouldn't have got away with that. But no charges were pressed. Nothing was done. 40 years later, he's going into thing, and here she comes. Nah, that don't work that way. You can't just jump back in the ring and box after 40 years and expect everything to go in your favor. It's not going to work out in your favor, I promise you. But y'all can twist the story as you like. But like I said, Spencer, I know you're taking up for your mama. And like I said, I'm not even going to delete your comments, brother. I'm not. Because I know you're taking up for your mama. And like I said, I respect you for that. Because that is your mama. Because I would do the same for my mama. Wrong or right, she's mama. We're going to defend her no matter what. That's what it is. Man's going to take up and defend his mama. Nah, I'm not mad. Brother, this has got nothing to do with that, Spencer. See, everybody's trying to find angles. Okay, everybody's trying to find angles. Okay, everybody's trying to find angles to twist the story to make me look bad. But the truth, man, I'm not mad at Dad. I'm not mad at her. I done said that. I'm not mad at anybody. But I'm looking at all angles from logic. You know, I'm not mad at her. Because this is not, to me personally, she's wrong for what she's saying. And that's the bottom line. No, I'm not mad. But I am one, when I see something wrong, Spencer, and I see somebody being run over, and I see no evidence proven behind the case, then I can't actually say I can't sit here and say she's telling 100% truth. I can't. I believe this is just a ruse. What's the word I'm looking for? Not ruse. I believe she's lied about some things because there's too many things that's saying it's covered up. But if you're thinking I'm mad because she would not let me work with her, I'm not mad about that. You're trying to find something personal. Again, you're trying to find something personal to make me where you can actually come back and say, well, he's just mad because of this and that. I'm not mad at your mom. Even right now, I'm sitting here saying, I'm not mad at your mom. Hell, I'm not even mad at Dad. But do I believe they're lying through their teeth on some things? Damn right I do. And my experience of going through the system has taught me enough to spot some shit. Excuse my French. My time in the system has taught me one thing. You can smell bullshit, and you can see how things work. Nobody's mad, Spencer. Again, you're sitting there jumping on me. So we're going to twist this around now. Is this how we're going to play this game with you? You're going to try to defend your mama. You're going to say whatever you want. Go ahead, let's hammer it. Let's go. I'm going to let you do it. I'm not going to stop you. Because I know you're defending your mama and you're going to say whatever you want to. I'm not mad at your mom, dude. Like I said, this ain't got nothing to do personally with her personally. The fact of it is, I'm not mad at her. Period. That was what? Dude, that was what? A year or two ago? Why are we even talking about it now? Hello? You're trying to find ways to help your mom. I get it. But you bringing that up has nothing to do with this conversation. Because that was almost 2 years ago. I had no reason to be mad. You know, I understood. I understood why they wouldn't hire me. They couldn't hire me. They couldn't afford it. I got it. I wasn't mad. But if you're trying to find some way to discredit me in any way, brother, this is not the way to go about it. Trust me. If you're trying to make it look like I'm pissed off at her because she didn't give me a job, I ain't mad. Like I said, that was almost 2 years ago. I'm over it. I wasn't worried about it because I understood. When Dad told me about it, I understood. I understood. Well, Spencer, that's something you need to ask your mama, dog. And like I said, I've been honest with you. Like I said, I've let you come on my video. I have not hammered you in any way. I've been pretty nice about everything, and I've answered the questions the best I can do. But I am old enough to know when something don't smell right and don't look right. And it's truth. I've been on this earth long enough, and I've been through a lot of personal experiences in my life to know when something is just not right. It don't add up in no way, shape, or form. And you can sit there and say your mom's not lying. And again, I respect you because you're defending your mother. You're going to defend her, and you're going to do it, but it's natural. That is your mother, and I respect you more because you are defending your mother. If you didn't, you wouldn't be a son. So I get the whole concept. Like I said, my hat's off to you, brother. I get it, and I stand by. Hey, I respect you for that. But I believe your mom's story is far-fetched. I really do. Because there's too much saying it never happened. If it truly happened, why did she not press charges? Who paid for their trip down to New York City? We know Dad don't have the money. You can argue this fact all day long to Sunday, but I do know they're not making. Dad talked to me on the phone less than a few months ago, whining and crying because he was having it rough. So apparently the painting business went downhill. Something went south because he was complaining to us about me, calling us up, talking about money situation. I know he's not out in the working all the time where he should be working. Well, we'll figure it out when it gets there, brother, but unfortunately I don't see no case on this. I don't see no proof in the butter. Why did she not press charges when she, have her dad go down, or her mother? Why was all this covered up for so many years and all of a sudden, bam, here we are? Well, we're going to argue about it. Like I said, I respected you in every way, shape, or form. And like I said, I know you're going to take and defend your mom, and I respect that. But in truth, I'm just stating fact that what I see in front of me. And I'm stating them facts is what I see. Because that's what a judge is going to look at, everything. Judge is going to have to look at all the paperwork, man, before he can actually prove a case. So even if you could get it in court, it's not going to work out in your favor. Because there's not enough evidence showing anything really happened other than her word against his. And that's what it's going to come down to, ladies and gentlemen. Her word against his. And that's where this whole thing is going to come to a head. But in truth, when it goes to court, whatever happens, when it does show up in court, there's no DA in this country is going to be able to actually have a trial on this and actually prove anyone guilty of anything. So there's the bottom line. So Spencer, like I said, brother, I have no disrespect. And if you're trying to make me feel bad, I'm not going to feel bad about my statement. Roy Moore, I stand with him. Because like I said, there's not enough proof to prove anything ever really happened. Well, like I said, I tried to argue all facts around, and I tried to do it peacefully, and I tried to do rightly. I didn't yell or scream at anybody. I didn't cuss. I did not say anything out of line. I tried to be patient. But all truth is, I'm not getting paid for nothing I've said. Because truth should be free. Nobody should be being paid for anything. And here's another question. And let me point this out too that really gets under my skin. Is she had how many lawyers here in Etowah County she could have went to and talked to? But she chose a lawyer from New York City or wherever that lady's from, a Democrat that has made her living off extorting women. So why did she choose her? Now that kind of makes things look a little worse for you there, little brother. And now she would have chose a lawyer right here in Alabama, right here in Gadsden, one of the lawyers here, why did she go for one that is known to be what she is? So you got to look at all these deals, dude. You got to open your eyes, brother. You got to look at all these things. How in the world why did she choose that one especially? New York, wherever, it doesn't matter to me. My point is, why did she choose one way the hell out over there, and especially when this woman is known to do what she does? There's somebody being paid, and somebody's getting paid. No matter what you think, no matter how this goes, somebody's making money off this deal. Your mom is making money off this deal. Sorry, truth is the truth. And there's nobody going to tell me any different. Your mom is getting paid. That woman wouldn't have spent money to send them out there and put them up in a motel room if your mother wasn't being paid. But like I said, she had plenty of lawyers right here in Alabama. If she could have got one of them to done it. Why'd she choose to go way down through yonder, wherever, to have a lawyer come down and then pick the one that is well known for the crap that she pulls? So, you see, all this is looking pretty rough there, bro. Well, therein lies a big problem there, brother. Therein lies your big problem there, brother. But anyway, I didn't want to take and get you involved in this, man, because like I said, I don't want no hard feelings between us, but this has nothing to do with me and you. It has nothing to do with dad or mom. This has to do with proof. Your mom doesn't have any. There's a lot of the story that's not adding up. And that's what makes the biggest problem. Is a lot of her stories, the story that she's telling is not adding up the way it should be adding up. I'm sorry, but that is what it is, Spencer. Because like I said, brother, there's no judge in the world going to trial this case. None. They can't. There would be no way to find anyone guilty of it. Because there was nothing done back so long ago. There is no case. I understand, and I want to keep it that way. I want to keep it that way. Like I said, I didn't cut you out. I let you say what you wanted because I know, hey, a mother's love is a mother's love, brother. You're going to defend your mama. We know. Because I do it myself. Wrong or right, I'd back my mama. Mother's love's a mother's love. But you got to understand, though, Spencer, there's a lot going on in this case that does not add up for you, son. It don't add up. And I'm being honest. I look at everything. I've watched the videos 50 times over. It all looks staged out to me. From the paper in her hand, she's constantly reading it. She's never actually looking into the camera and actually stating fact. Eye contact. It's always looking at that paper, and she's speaking what's on the paper. But like I said, I have no disrespect towards you, bro. Like I said, you defend your mama. I'm proud of you. I will say it. I'm proud of you defending your mama. That's what any good son would do. Even if they're wrong, we still will defend them. But all truth, I see bullshit here. I see bullshit. I see something that does not add up, and my guts are telling me, my inner voice is telling me something is just not 100% right. Now, if she had 100% proof, she had everything set up and everything was done completely the way it was supposed to have been done, then I could sit here and say, hey, okay, there it is. There's proof right here. And she tried to press charges back then, but nobody would let her. She made a police report, blah, blah, blah. Then I would have been able to say, look, you know what? She's got a case. But you come out of thin air 40 years later, and you're going to throw it out there that, oh, he done this, but you have no proof to back it up. And that's what inlines the biggest problem with this case. And that's the biggest problem. And that's what I'm trying to do, is make her understand it, and I want the truth to be told the right way, and I want people to understand. I really, truly don't believe he done what was said. I don't, because there's no way. I just don't see a person in the 70s. Back then, their children would go and tell their parents when something bad happened, if they were 16, 15. They wouldn't like the kids today. They wouldn't like the kids today. Kids today, they hide everything. But back then, they didn't hide nothing. They went home and told their parents. But no charges were pressed. Nothing was brought up. Nothing. But all of a sudden, today, now all of a sudden it's popping up. Sorry, man. I can't agree with you here. And I won't agree with you here. There's just too many possibilities that just says this is wrong. There's something she's lying about, or something has been covered up. There's a reason behind why she's waited so long to say this. For one thing, she didn't make a report, so that makes it look like, hey, there's a lie being told here somewhere. And that's common sense. But we're not going to argue about it anymore. I stand with Moore. I stand with Mr. Moore. That's it. I believe he's innocent. People are going to say what they want. People are going to try to, like I said, you're going to try to discriminate me all day long. But there's no reason why. I have nothing to gain out of this. I'm not gaining money. Not one red cent. So I have nothing I'm gaining from this. What I do have is a nose for the truth. What I do have is experience of being locked up a time or two myself and dealing with the justice system, that I know when something does not look right. I've learned enough to know something's not right here. I smell a rat in the wood pile somewhere. She's lying. And I will stick to that fact until I'm proven guilty, until I'm proven otherwise. I believe she's lying, and that's true. Until somebody can actually produce evidence proving that he done this, then I'm going to stick with the truth that I know. And what I know is there's no evidence to anything that's been said. All this is hearsay bullcrap. And as far as I'm concerned, hearsay don't mean a hell of beans in a courtroom. And that's bottom line. No hell to beans in a courtroom. You know, and I mean, that's his bottom line. You know, I'm sorry that your mom got tied into all this crap. I'm sorry. But in truth, like I said, and that's bottom line, I don't believe your mom is the innocent one here. I do not believe your mother's the innocent one here. Because something just does not smell right. And like I said, my dad's probably going to hate me over this. He may never speak to me again. But I'm okay. Because in truth, until I can be proven wrong, and somebody can actually produce the evidence showing that this really truly happened, I'm sorry, brother. But I don't see it happening. A signature in a book that someone, in my mind personally, holding on for almost 40 years, kept her yearbook with this man's signature after he'd done what he'd done, does not look quite good. Because that's going to make me ask you, a good attorney would ask you, hey, ma'am, why didn't you keep his name in that book for so long? So he done this to you, you hated him, and you felt treated badly, but you managed to keep his name in a book for 40 years in your home. Don't look too good. And I'm just being 100% honest. That don't look good at all. It don't look good, brother. And you got to see that. In a court of law, they would tear her up in court of law because there's too many variables that do not add up. They don't. They don't add up. But I stand with Judge Moore all the way. I believe Judge Moore did not commit the acts that's been by none of these women. I think they're all been paid off to say whatever is being said. Because, truth, where's the police reports? Where did they try to place the... Because you didn't have to do it in Etowah County. The law, I can press charges on somebody that lives in Etowah County right here where I live at in the town over. You ain't got to wait. She could have pressed charges in Anniston. She didn't have to just do it right there in Etowah County. Why was nothing been pressed? Why was back then nothing ever been done? So there's more of the story than meets the eye. It is what it is. I'm sorry. You can get mad at me all day and y'all can be ticked at me and I'm okay with that. But there's something not quite right about this, and I can't just, as a law-abiding citizen for one, and as an honest man, I can't just say this has got to go. I can't just ignore that. Without 100% proof, you should not even be able to press charges. But like I said, I've got nothing to hide. That's what this video was about. There's nothing, whatever you side people want to say about me, you're welcome to make up your own minds about me. But in truth, I've hid nothing from anyone. I've not tried to cover up nothing. But I do know enough to know that what I see is something not quite right about it. It is what it is. There's no judge in the world who will be able to trial this case. There's no district attorney who will be able to prosecute this case. In no way, shape, or form. Because there's not enough evidence proving other than hearsay, her word against his. There's no case. And there's no way the Senate can actually kick Moore out legally by law over an allegation. Unless he's proven guilty, they literally can't do nothing. Because if they do that, then American citizens, Alabama citizens, will be able to take and find a way to press charges and sue them for everything they're worth, for taking and not respecting the vote of the people. You don't want to go there, big boys. Just being honest with you. Well, like I said, I ain't perfect. I made my share of mistakes when I was younger. But I wanted to rectify some things. Do I hate your mom? No, I hate her not. I've got no hate in my heart for that woman. None. Do I hate my father? No. So anybody wants to throw up my father and use that as a ploy to make me look bad, like I'm this squandered sibling that is angry at his parent. Nah, I don't hate anybody. So we're going to cut that on out right now. I understood why your mom couldn't hire me. I understood because Dad told me. So I'm good with that. Oh, he's got the message. But I hate no one. I'm not a racist. I believe in the Confederate flag. I believe in my history. But I'm not a racist. I do believe KKK is a terrorist group, just like BLM, just like Antifa, and a few other groups I can name off the top of my hat. I'm not a racist. But I am stating facts. And these facts are pretty much the way I see it, because I'm looking at it from facts of law. Stuff that I learned when I was going through the crap that I went through in my life, that I learned. Evidence is what makes a case. There's no evidence here. Nothing but a word against word. One person accusing another person for one person's gain. That's all this is. It comes down to somebody gaining something. Alabama people voted. He's going into the office. That's it. There's no question about that. And I support Moore 100%. But there's no cases here. There's nothing here physically by law that will actually win the case for anyone. You will drag it out for 20 more days. He will miss his chance to get into office, because I believe that's what this is about. I believe this is about keeping him from actually taking office. And that's truth. This was all a ploy to get him from not being able to take and win the election to become into office. This was to put him down before he got there, because they want Democrats to run Alabama. That's not going to happen. Alabama says no Democrats. We don't want you. That's it. That's it. There's nothing to talk about. There's no discussing. But it's over, man. She's going to keep going because she's got something to prove, which I have no clue what she's got to prove. But she's got something apparently to prove. But like I said, personally, my personal beliefs is going to still be strong. I believe she's lying out her teeth. Because if she wasn't, why did she not press the charges when they needed to be pressed? Why did she wait so long? And why did she keep a man that took and tried to hurt her in a book in her home for 40 years? It does not add up. Even I don't even have a college degree. And I know that don't sound right to me. They just don't sound right to me. So I stand with Judge Moore all the way. I believe my stepmother's lying. That's the end of it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. But y'all can hammer me all day long you want to, and I'm okay with that. But like I said, personally, people are going to say whatever they want, but in truth, I know who I am. But I do know there's something not right about what's being said, and I can't put my finger on it just yet, but I will figure it out eventually. There's something not right. Do I say the Democrats are involved in this? Damn right, I believe they are. I believe somebody's getting a paycheck out of this shit too. Why did she come out all of a sudden at the end of the game when the dude is ahead? There's a lot going on here that people are not wanting to see. And Spencer, you're not wanting to see it because it is your mama. And like I said again, I respect you, Holly, because you're going to defend your mama no matter what. You may backlash me later. You may talk bad about me, but that's okay. Because I respect you. You know, that is your mama. It is your choice to make it stand up for your mama, and I'm not going to take and be mad at you for that. But I do believe your mama's wrong on this one. And I do believe she's not quite telling the whole story. Or there's something. There's something that's not adding up to me. And that's why I am Moore all the way. Ladies and gentlemen, Moore, let's get him in office. Moore. Because I do not believe the story that's been told. I think all these women are doing the same thing. They're getting paid to say whatever they can to get him out, to make sure he gets out of office. They did it to Trump. They're doing it the same thing again. And now my own stepmother fell in the whole game with them. And I don't like it. Because if it really happened the way she said it did, why didn't she press charges? These are questions that I want to know. But people's like, well, she was afraid to because he's a district attorney. He wasn't a district attorney at the time. And that's the fact. He was not a district attorney in 77. He wasn't. He was the guy, they had the district attorney. He's the guy, the guy below the district attorney. I can't think what they actually call him right offhand right now. He wasn't the actual district attorney, but he was the guy below him. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you know, you can call me what you will. You're going to make up a lot of stories about me. You're going to say what you want. But like I said, to end this about the mom, you're trying to say I'm mad at Spencer? You're trying to say I'm mad at your mom for not hiring me for a job? No, sir. I understand why she couldn't hire me. So, it has nothing to do with that, brother. I want to make that point clear because I don't want to have it popping up on the news feed that I was mad at your mom is the reason I did this, because it ain't true. I ain't mad at your mom. That's it right there. Assistant DA. So he wasn't actually the DA. But I do know what I know. And I do know there's something not adding up with your mother. Her story's not 100% right. And I can't put my finger on it, but I will figure it out, I promise you. I promise you I will figure it out eventually. But what I do know is there's some lying going on her behalf, and I don't understand why. Why? The evidence says there's so many things she could have done and she should have done the right way to fix this. But keeping a man's name that it tried to sexually rape you in your home in a book for 40 years says to me personally, and probably the world, that if this person raped you, and you can ask any American woman out there, if a man rapes you, ladies, would you keep anything of theirs in your home? Majority of them's going to say no. They don't want no remembrance of that. So why would somebody keep a man's name that supposedly tried to rape you? It doesn't add up. But personally, I believe it's a forgery. But again, it may not be. Hey, well, but I do believe that there's something not right there. I believe if it is real, she kept it because it didn't happen the way she said it happened. But like I said, I just made my point very clear. There's a lot about this case that does not add up, and there's a lot about things she said it does not make sense to me and I do believe in my heart she's lying about it. And I do. No matter how we cut this, it's the only thing I could come down to actually saying she is 100% lying about this shit. Because the evidence says so. Why did she not take and press charges? You said she was scared because he was the district attorney. But the fact he wasn't a district attorney, he was an assistant district attorney. He wasn't the actual attorney. So that kind of he was basically a nobody. He was a trainee. He wasn't even a attorney. He didn't have the authority to stand up and do anything other than just be there to learn from the district attorney to take over for him. That is it. He had no power. So the whole concept, brother, is how are y'all going to continue? How is this going to continue to be twisted? We're going to keep playing this game daily in, out, daily out, daily in, daily out. You say she's right, she's telling the truth, but in truth, her story is not making sense. That's what makes the problem happening. That's why we're in this situation now. Because I called horseshit. Excuse my language, ladies, but I called horseshit on this because after I watched the videos over and over and over again, I got to looking and I said, wait a minute, this shit does not look right to me. Something's not right. Just like everything that I've said is 100% fact. She does want to live above her means. She acts like she wants to live the millionaire lifestyle. Off. You can't do that. She wants to live like she's made millions of dollars. That's her doing. You know, but my personal opinions on that is what it is. You know, but I don't hate anyone. Like I said, I don't hate your mom. I don't hate her. But I believe she's lying through her teeth, but I don't hate her. I don't hate my dad. I just think my dad's doing what he thinks is right by her and he's going to defend her. That's truth. But any good husband would, no matter what. But like I said, I believe there's a lot of lies being told, and I believe your mom is telling some shit that there's no proof to fix. Give me 100% proof, make me change my mind, but I don't see no evidence showing other than she's lying. And that, my friend, is pretty much bottom line there, Spencer. She has no proof to show other than a name in a book. Like I said, why would you keep a name in a book that somebody tried to molest you? It doesn't make any sense unless he didn't do it. That's the only thing I could say logically. He must have not have done it, because if he did, she wouldn't have kept the book. She'd have tore the page out. She'd have burned it. She'd have done something with it. She wouldn't have kept it. Because there's nobody that's a victim would ever keep something of the person that hurt her. I know that. So we can argue this fact, like I said, all day long, Spencer. But in truth, I believe your mom's lying on this one. And I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to defend her on this, because I can't see myself defending someone when I got a gut feeling she's in the wrong on this one. And it's true. She's in the wrong. These Democrats, they're bad business, man. And she's right in there with them. That makes it pretty sad. It makes it pretty sad. But like I said, I defend Moore, because Moore, his record speaks for itself, man. It speaks for itself. But anyway, you have a good night, everybody. I'm going to go relax and chill out. But like I said, Spencer, I don't hate your mother at all. I don't hate my father. I ain't mad at no one. But I am old enough. I've lived hard enough in my life to understand the law. And I know what the law says, and the law says you got to have evidence to take and trial someone. You can't trial someone off false accusations. And that's what this has been, a false accusation, because if it wasn't, she would have had proof other than just a name in a book and what she says. Because like I said, women lie every day. Women try to put men in jail for stuff every day. Men lie every day too. It goes both ways. But honestly, I have personally, I'm not gaining nothing from this. No money. I'm not asking for a paycheck. I'm doing what's right. I speak my mind on what's right. And I believe your mom needs to think about what she's done, and she needs to figure out how to take and either produce proof or let it go. Because if she can't produce it, in which we know she can't produce the proof, other than a yearbook that is under question, and what she says, that's it. And that's not enough. And like I said, there's a lot of things. Good night, Spencer. And I'm sorry. I really, truly didn't want this to be this way, brother. And I want you to know that. I really didn't want this to be this way, but I can't stand beside someone that does not seem like she's telling the whole truth. And that's the problem. It eats at me. But like I said, however this works out, it is gonna be what it is. But then ultimately, I stand with Moore all the way, because like I said, there's no proof to any of these accusations other than somebody just talking. And like I said, I post what I post, not to make people mad, but to make you understand that you should have, you could have handled this in a different way, I believe. But also, I believe that, why did you not tell your kids? You should have let us know what y'all were doing. I didn't know nothing about it. Hell, all the years I've known Beverly, I never heard any of this conversation about Judge Moore doing this or Judge Moore doing that. So, see, there's a lot of questions to me as why. None of this was ever brought up, man. My dad's never once spoken of these things. I've never heard him say it out of his own mouth that this ever happened. And now all of a sudden I see it I get told to go look at the news. My stepmother's all over the news. This is going on, this going on. I'm sitting there thinking, dude, what? What the hell? Really? But we can argue this fact. We can argue it. But like I said, this has nothing to do with your mother. Like I said, we're done with that. I'm not mad at her. Not. But I do believe her story is flawed very badly. And there's a lot that's not being told. And I don't believe she's telling the whole truth to it either. So I believe, again, personally, I believe she's lying. And I'm sorry to say that. I know that's your mama, but I know she's lying. Because the evidence shows otherwise. But with that being said, everybody have a good night. Everybody have good Thanksgiving. God bless y'all all. To you and your babies. Vote Roy. Vote Mr. Moore. Judge Moore into office, guys. You keep doing what you got to do. Because Moore's a good man, and I believe that. He stood for the 10 Commandments, man. I've never heard nothing bad about the man my whole life, and I've lived in Gadsden my whole life. And this is the first time something comes up and it does not add up. And so I say it calmly. My stepmother is bought out or she's lying. One way or the other, it doesn't look good. But everybody have a good one.